From the very beginning, I said that Doug Ford doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And I keep being proven correct. While he was campaigning, he talked about how he's for the people, even though he had no platform and was meeting with wealthy donors behind the scenes. But yes, sure, for the people. Doug Ford, who was born into a wealthy family, inherited everything he'll ever need, inherited his business. Yes, Doug Ford knows exactly what life is like for the average person. Now, again, we have a story today showing that Doug Ford doesn't know what the hell he is doing. So the cancellation of the cap and trade is going to cost Ontario $3 billion in lost revenue. So more on that from Global News. Financial Accountability Officer Peter Weltman said the loss of revenue from cap and trade will be greater than the savings the government will achieve by canceling spending associated with the program. So, once again, I told you. And look, I think most people watching me also saw this coming, but a lot of voters, especially ones who weren't paying attention, didn't know. And hopefully now those people are paying attention. So how will this affect Ontarians directly? Let me tell you. So this is from Richard Southern. Breaking. The Ford government's move to scrap the cap and trade program will cost all Ontarians a bundle. That's the finding from the Independent Financial Accountability Office. The FAO says the average household will be on the hook for an additional $264 in 2019. But you know what? At least Doug is saving us 3 cents a beer by not instituting the beer tax. So 3 cents or 264, or what is it? 64, yes. $264. I mean, I guess if you buy, I think about, I don't know, 3,000 cases of beer, you might make it up. But the math might be off there. But you're going to have to buy a lot of cases of beer to make up for that $264. But this is, how do people not see this? How do you not understand that the saving on the beer tax is designed to be a complete distraction from actual issues? A distraction from not even just this, but the ripping up of the workers' rights bill, Bill 148, and not increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour. These sorts of 3 cents a beer or buck of beer. Why is everything about beer, first of all? All these sorts of moves are used as a distraction to distract, honestly, a lot of dumb people from not knowing what is actually going on. And unfortunately, it works on many voters. Now, since the cap and trade is, I guess, going to be canceled or is canceled, we do fall under the federally mandated carbon tax. So how will that affect people in Ontario? The FAO also estimated that in the long run, the cap and trade system would have cost Ontario families less than the federal carbon tax. The federal government has indicated it plans to return the money raised by the tax directly to residents in the provinces opposed to the plan. Under cap and trade, the typical Ontario household would pay $312 annually in additional costs by 2022, said the FAO, compared to $648 under the federal system by the same year. So the cost to people of Ontario under the federal carbon tax will be more money, as opposed to the cap and trade system that the Liberal government in Ontario instituted. Now, Doug Ford did say that he's going to sue the Canadian government over the carbon tax. So he's going to sue that, and he's going to win that lawsuit, and everything's going to be great. Except all signs point to that not happening. So it appears to all be political theater. Now, even if Doug Ford does sue the Canadian government, the chances of him winning that lawsuit appears to be very unlikely. So this from the Saskatoon Star Phoenix. Independent legal opinion finds strong likelihood of Supreme Court upholding carbon tax. So even if Doug Ford wins the lawsuit, let's say he wins the lawsuit against the Canadian government, even though legal experts appear to say that that's incredibly unlikely, but let's say Doug Ford wins the lawsuit. What happens then? We're still out $3 billion. So I guess you had a buck of beer and you save 3 cents on a case of beer or 3 cents on a liter of beer. It's all going to work out. I can't. This guy. So you know what? Let's go to a leader that I think actually knows what the hell is going on. Is educated, especially on these sorts of issues. Mike Schreiner, the Green Party of Ontario leader and Guelph MPP. He put out a statement about this saying, in part, this: Premier Ford is putting politics and ideology over evidence, and it comes with a $3 billion price tag that the Conservatives are not being honest about. The FAO report reveals the real financial consequences of Ford's cut first, think later approach to governing. He rushed to cancel cap and trade to make good on an ill-conceived campaign slogan. Now we are learning about the financial consequences. The people of Ontario will pay dearly for the Premier's reckless actions. The numbers will only get worse as the real-world consequences of abandoning climate action rise. Insurable losses from extreme weather events in Ontario amounted to nearly $1 billion in the first half of 2018. We are at risk of losing $420 million in federal transfers contingent on having a real climate change plan. And we can expect legal challenges from companies unfairly punished by the Ford government for simply following the previous rules of cap and trade. Every day we are learning more about the financial costs of a government that puts ideology over evidence. Now, in my mind, that's what a real leader sounds like. Mike Schreiner actually educates himself on these issues. He knows what is going on. He's not just about stupid slogans like "for the people" and then, meets with business leaders behind the scenes and pushes policy that helps those business leaders and hurts the people of the province. Mike Schreiner actually cares. Doug Ford, on the other hand, like I said, was born into wealth. He doesn't understand what life is like for the average person. He has no desire to want to understand. He doesn't care. He has shown he doesn't care. Yet, he has supporters. And look, if you are a wealthy business leader, I get it. I get why Doug Ford's your guy. If you're not a wealthy business leader and you actually care about your own life and maybe about people in your life, your family, your friends who also aren't wealthy business leaders, then there is no reason for you to support this guy that has continued to show he doesn't care about facts, evidence, or science.